The thing that's been on everybody's mind, what is going to happen to the medium that we call physical, the actual games that show far more ownership than having digital only or the streaming nonsense or any of the type of things that these companies are trying to push on us because they do not want you to own the games. They want to remove the ownership aspect of it, yeet right into your account and take whatever they want whenever they feel like it, especially if those pesky things called licenses decide to, just expire out of nowhere. And we've got definitive proof that right now Nintendo has no plans outside of what they've said, because something just happened that just made me smile. This morning I was looking at the numbers and I first saw that it was incorrect when there was on one place. For some reason they had it incorrect, but then I looked again on Twitter and I saw the situation with Rhythm Heaven Groove and the massive opening that this game had. I was completely wrong, and I think this solidifies going forward in the future, outside of other stuff that we're going to talk about, Nintendo is absolutely not removing physical games anytime soon. It's just too big of a part of the business where it is an additive. It does not subtract from what they do, and it actually helps out things. So we're going to talk about that in addition to a bunch of great Nintendo Switch 2 news. But before we continue, we are giving away a Nintendo Switch 2 at 140,000 subscribers or on September 1st, whichever comes first. Subscribe, like, comment. The winner will be chosen at random, and it's a worldwide giveaway. Thanks, peeps. Okay, starting off here with the Famitsu sales from June 29th, 2026 through July 5th, 2026. This is only about 3 days of tracking for Rhythm Heaven Groove, and this game had a massive opening, a bigger opening than a lot of the big core games that Nintendo has had for the year. So it was actually incredible to see this. Now remember, Rhythm Heaven Groove is a Nintendo Switch 1 game. It could also be played, of course, backwards compatible through the Nintendo Switch 2. So it has a pretty massive install base in Japan to sell to, and that showed up in the sales charts because the game sold 393,378 physical units, not including digital, in Japan in 3 days of sales, because it dropped on July 2nd. So it didn't even get a full week. Now, if you include a full week, because obviously that's for the past week, so if you include everything, this game probably did 500,000 units plus in the first week. And if you include digital sales, easily over 500,000 units. That is huge. It is a cheaper game, but what it shows more than anything is that Nintendo does have a commitment to physical. This could have just been a little easy digital type of game that they release. It's obviously not a huge big AAA type of game, but they still put it out on a cartridge and they still put it out there for people to be able to play, whether you want it digital or you want it physical, and it paid off huge here. That is a consumer friendly type of thing. People want to be able to have it in a physical form where you can lend it out, you can sell it, you can trade it, you can do what you want, and it's not tied to an account. It's an important thing, and I'm going to be stressing that every single time that we see a big Nintendo Switch 1 or Switch 2 game sell huge in anywhere. I'm going to make sure that I point that out, and I'm going to tell you guys that that is how you do it. That's how you provide options for people when it comes to the gamers out there. And I'm actually surprised because I talked about this on my stream. I didn't know Rhythm Heaven was going to put up these type of numbers. This is significantly better than any Rhythm Heaven game in history in Japan. Now, there was a sizable little bump to the Nintendo Switch 2 sales, so I do think that some people actually went out there, picked up a Nintendo Switch 2 and Rhythm Heaven. But if you compare Rhythm Heaven physical sales to the franchise, it just obliterated the other games. Here is the list. Shoutouts to Game Data Library. The next game that even got close with physical launch retail sales was Rhythm Heaven Mega Mix, and that was more than a decade ago at this point, and that sold 155,784 units, so significantly less when it comes to it. It doubled plus the sales, and it blew away Rhythm Heaven Fever. Rhythm Heaven Fever, that game came out in 2011, so that was a late Nintendo Wii game. Blew that game away. Blew away Rhythm Heaven on the Nintendo DS, which that one actually was pretty good back in 2008. 227,718 units, did way better than that. 100,000 plus over that one. And Rhythm Heaven on the GBA, that was a long time ago. That was like the first one. So I think people were like, wait a minute, what's all this about? And they exploded for the next one afterwards. But yeah, it was pretty cool to see Rhythm Heaven grow like it's grown over the years. It's been a game that's been sparse when it comes to the releases, but whenever it does drop, pretty much since the Nintendo DS version, it's been on a roll, and it just got better here when it comes to the Nintendo Switch. And once again, huge install base between Switch 1 and Switch 2, and I think maybe just the built-up appetite over the course of 11 years of not getting a Rhythm Heaven game, and then getting it on the most popular system in Japanese history when it comes to dedicated consoles, the Nintendo Switch 1, and of course you have the Nintendo Switch 2. The Switch 2 actually got a bump in sales as well. It went from 20-something thousand to 32,000, and Splatoon Raiders is coming up with the bundle. So I do think that we could see 30, 40, 50K in the next number of weeks for the Nintendo Switch 2. And once again, shows that Nintendo marches to the beat of their own drum. They don't sit there and look at Microsoft and Sony and say, oh, since they're going all digital, or since they're doing a Game Pass type of thing and ruining their business and all that, or they're shuttering studios, that means they have to do that. They do things differently, for better or for worse at times, and sometimes it's not as good. But if you compare some of the situations and problems that we're seeing, the severe issues, so the stability to be able to create a wide variety of games and to get physical games out to the people is Nintendo's strength at this point. And I'm very glad that they are doing what they need to do to make sure that we have that consumer option there in an industry that seems like it's imploding every single second. But we have more news to go over here, because Nintendo Switch 2 is getting an interesting game, the Crew Motorfest. And I'll be honest, I thought this game was already shut down. When I saw this game the other day, they're like, oh, the Crew Motorfest is coming. I'm like, isn't that like that Stop Killing Games thing, or that situation that's going on there where they want an offline mode? Wasn't this game part of that, or it will be shut down? Well, I guess not, because it's coming to the Nintendo Switch 2 this year. Let's get into more about this game. So publisher Ubisoft and developer Ubisoft Ivory Tower will release a Switch 2 version of the Crew Motorfest on October 8th. The company's announced the physical edition will ship on a game keycard. The Crew Motorfest is currently available for the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC via Steam, Epic Game Store, and Ubisoft Store. It first launched on September 14, 2023, and I forgot that it was about 3 years ago at this point. Okay, yeah, I just completely forgot about this game. So let's get a little bit more information about the Crew Motorfest. It seems like it's like a RPG racing game. So enjoy the game free for 5 hours. Grab your ticket to Motorfest, show off your skills, and live the most thrilling driving experiences car culture has to offer. Key features: celebrate all the facets of car culture, discover the playlist, and dive into thematic campaigns that will immerse you in the most exciting car culture universes, including American Muscle, Japanese-style street racing, and legendary machines of the past. Collect the most legendary cars, master every driving challenge, and fill your collection with the most legendary vehicles ever created. Customize your cars and show off your own style with the custom contest mode. Explore a vibrant Hawaiian open world. The Crew Motorfest has settled down in one of the most breathtaking places on Earth, the island of Oahu, Hawaii. Join high-speed street races through the bustling city of Honolulu. Test your off-road skills on the ashy slopes of a volcano and master the perfect curve of the tracks. Complete an adrenaline-fueled live events. Master all types of vehicles in a grand race and finish first among 28 other drivers. Jump into the pure mayhem of Demolition Royale, where 8 teams battle to be the last one standing. Take on the Summit Clash by completing challenges to dominate the leaderboard. So yeah, it looks kind of like it's like that Forza Horizon style of gameplay, kind of Ubisoft's own version. Looks like Ubisoft beat Microsoft to the punch when it comes to bringing this style of game to the Switch 2. And to be honest, I'm not the biggest on racing games. I think this would have excited me like 20 years ago. I used to be into racing games a while back, and I just kind of stopped being into them. I don't know why, but I just did. I used to play a ton of racing games back in the day, especially like on the Super Nintendo. That was like 30 plus years ago at this point. But the Super Nintendo, the N64, the Dreamcast, I played all sorts of racing games. The PS1, but I'm happy that it's coming, and I think that some people will probably get a lot of enjoyment out of this. I just don't know what's going on. It does seem like it's like an always online game or something like that. So hopefully there's like offline modes. I've heard that there's no offline, so just beware. It's a game keycard, and when it comes down to it, this game could be shut down. So just be aware before you get into it. definitely research a little bit more when it comes to all aspects of this, because I don't think that they have offline stuff for this game. So keep that in mind when checking it out. Now, once again, I could be wrong on that, but I do think that it would be nice if Ubisoft can kind of put some offline stuff in this game if it's not already in there. So just keep that in mind when you're checking out this game, if you want to buy it or not. But we also have something else if you want to buy it or not, and that's a demo for Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, and it transfers over. So this is one of the best things that I see Nintendo doing with a lot of these titles. We're getting some demos out here so people can try it out and see if they want to pick it up. So a demo for Yoshi and the Mysterious Book featuring the early stages of the game is now available for the Nintendo Switch 2 via Nintendo eShop. The version 1.0.2 update was also released for the full game, which adds the ability to carry over save data from the demo, as well as fixes other issues to improve the gameplay experience. It's available now at this point if you want to go pick up Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. I did play the demo in Best Buy a bit ago, and I do plan on playing Yoshi. I just had some other stuff that I was playing at the time. I think I was still playing Romancing Saga when this game came out, and that game just kind of ran long for me, so I didn't get a chance to pick up Yoshi and the Mysterious Book right away. But I did like what I saw from some of the reviews, and I liked what I saw from what some people were saying, some of the reviews and things that I trust when it comes to other people that I know that played the game. And I do think that it's a good game. It's definitely not necessarily all my style with the combat, but not really being able to get injured or the ability to kind of fall into pitfalls and die and have to restart levels and things. It's a very different style of game, but from what I understand, the exploration is innovative and what they do there, and even from what I've played, it's a really unique game. There's not many other games out there like that, and it's going to have you really exploring every single little aspect, and that's kind of where the difficulty comes from, is getting the environments to react and do what the game is saying that you can do and unlock all the little secrets and details within each world. So I think that's where the challenge kind of comes from. Very unique and different type of platforming game, but it's something that I absolutely want to play later down the line. I'm probably going to pick it up. Maybe there'll be some deals or some sales on it later, but there's just so many games to play across the industry right now. There's so much different stuff. I'm getting review codes for all sorts of things. I'm playing all these big RPGs, and there's just simply not enough time to play everything. And even now, Rhythm Heaven, I just picked that one up, so I got to play Rhythm Heaven, and there's going to be a lot more. Splatoon Raiders is coming out in July. Star Fox, I've been playing that game. We're going to have Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave coming up in September. Trails in the Sky Second Chapter, Ocarina of Time Remake. There is a ton. Onimusha. There's so many games. Wolverine that's coming out. Man, I do not know how I'm going to have the time to play all of this, but I think I'll actually download this demo, kind of get into it a bit, so then when I do pick up the game, probably later, Black Friday, get a nice little deal on it, I'll probably be able to hop right in. This might be a portable style or type of game for me to play every now and then, or even maybe during NFL season. I think this might be kind of cool to play during that, kind of like in between the commercials and all that, when I'm yelling when it comes to my 49ers if they're winning or losing. So I think it was a good move for them to release this demo here. And they've been doing that for a lot of the games, where sometimes it might get a demo beforehand, but a lot of times you'll see a demo afterwards, after the kind of initial sales. Then, oh, people that haven't picked it up or maybe are interested, try it out, then maybe you'll go out there and buy it. I think that's a good strategy. So what do you guys think about Yoshi and the Mysterious Book and its demo, in addition to Rhythm Heaven and all the different Switch 2 news that we went over? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, peeps, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and check out my other Nintendo Switch 2 RPG content and more right here on screen. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you for the next one. Peace.